right, and that's how we get to start expectations this evening. My name is Felix Ekodazi. Well, the 2020 we all prophesied about is here now. I remember when I was in class 4, my teacher said Vision 2020, and today we are in the year 2020. I want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas. If I'm not able to talk louder, don't mind me. I've been shouting on 31st. People have been playing knockout. Me too, I've been shouting. So forgive me. Anyway, I trust you are blessed. I trust you are shining, and a happy new year to you wherever you're watching us from. I want to say welcome to 2020. Already, I trust your pastor welcomed you or your family member welcomed you, but on Expectations, this is our official welcome, and I trust you are doing well. Right here on Expectations, we say Jesus is on his way soon, but before then, we ought to trust that we ought to make impact in this world, and therefore I team that impact is here. And today we'll be talking about something very special, and we'll be taking you on a journey that will bless you, a journey that will edify you, a journey that will be one of a kind memorial in your life. And today we'll be talking about something very special, and I have my guests seated with me already, and I'll be asking them what they think 2020 will be about. They are major prophets, so they were telling us what 2020 it's all about, and what they expect in 2020, and then we'll get to have a conversation that will bless you. It'll bless you. I have with me here on my right my friend. He became my friend. Have you been a month?
So, yes.
Okay, so Reverend Prince Ofe. Today I got it right.
Yes.
I've always been saying Kofi, and you don't correct me. Okay, so Reverend Prince Ofe is our guest for today. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
All right. And anytime you go to a Shaleboche, there's only one prophet there, and there's no other prophet, just one prophet there, and his name is should I say bishop or apostle? Which one do you want? Apostle.
Right.
Okay. So I won't say it yet. So Apostle Emmanuel Brown is also my guest, and welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right. I believe you are tired.
Grace is sustaining us.
And why is Santi? I am normal.
Yeah.
Okay. And also the only apostle from the GFK family, from London to
US.
To US.
Canada,
Hey, Charlie. Wait, from La Paz, Okay. Anyway, how would we Pastor Wisdom Peru Harvester, great man of God. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
All right. You know, someone was telling me about your Quran you quoted last week.
Okay.
I don't know if they are watching. They spoke about the Quran, and today we'll talk about it.
Okay.
All right. Me too. I've learned some few Quran scriptures, so we can battle something. Okay. Anyway, welcome, man of God. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. How's your Christmas been?
Oh, it's been good.
What did you do for Christmas?
New Year or Christmas?
Christmas.
Christmas
I
was here.
And after that, what happened?
We had a nice time at church.
Okay.
We had a family get together.
Okay.
At church, and it was fun. You could do it.
Okay. What about you, sir?
Yeah, we had our Christmas service as usual.
Okay.
And it was more about celebrating Jesus.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's why you didn't come last week.
Yes.
But it's fun. I understand. And Reverend Ofe, how's your Christmas been, sir?
We also had a very good time.
Okay.
And we crossed over to 2020 gloriously as well.
Okay.
We really had a good time.
Okay.
We know that this year is going to be very wonderful. Actually, it's our year of excellence.
Your year of excellence in ICGC. Okay. So it's going to be excellence, yeah?
Yes.
All right. So what's your year? Your thing for the year?
Yeah, it's our year of divine speed.
Divine speed. Right. Okay. All right. So I'll be expecting you on the speed thing. All right. What about you, sir? It's your year.
Becoming more and more like Jesus.
Becoming more and more like Jesus. Okay. Let's talk about this. What we're supposed to talk about for today. We get to talk about how to plan for the new year, and then we'll jump subsequently. We're doing 2 topics today, and I trust it to be a blessing. It's a journey, so we'll take you from here to the next step. So how to plan for 2020. All right, let me start. Do you think planning is of utmost essentiality? You were with us last week and we started on that. Is it prudent that one plans for a new year?
Yeah, it's very prudent. Jesus Christ spoke to his disciples, and he says that no man goes to war without first sitting down to count the costs. And he has to plan and then know how much he's going to invest in his war before he sends his troop. And then he also talks about no man building a house without first counting the cost. And so it's very important to plan the year. When you look at also Moses, when he was sending the Israelites to Egypt, from Egypt to Canaan, he had to plan. They had a plan for the journey. And even at a point, he sent 2 spies into the land to check what was in the land, what was happening there, before they entered into the land. And so planning it's very important. No one can do without planning. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And so it is very important that every aspect of your life, you put down certain things that you want to achieve in life. Okay, so what I will talk about for 2020 is that I term it personal development plan. This personal development plan is something that you tell yourself that you want to attain and achieve in the coming year. You want to get there. You see, you make they are more like your goals and how you will get there. So that is very key. It's very important. Okay, and when we want to look at the first thing that we would need in personal development plan is that you should, number one, look at your relationship with God. Your relationship with God when you are developing that plan. Your relationship with God is very, very important. You know, most of the times we all know that we have a relationship with God, but then the fellowship with Him, a lot of people don't have it. And so you should develop not only a relationship with Him, but fellowship, a personal fellowship with Him. And First Peter talks about, he says that grace and peace be multiplied unto you in the knowledge of Him. And so your knowledge of Christ is very important. Your personal relationship with Him, to know Him more. Paul also talks about, he said that I may know Him and the power of His resurrection. And so it is very critical that if you are developing a personal plan, you look at that. Number 2 thing that you also have to look at is building a spiritual capacity, which is very key. The capacity building is very important, and one of the things that helps me in building capacity is reading books and listening to tapes. All right. And so you tell yourself that if it's going to be weekly or monthly or quarterly, you need to read at least one book before you enter into the new month or the new quarter or the new week. You set yourself a target, and that one you are building capacity. And so those things are very
necessary.
Yeah.
All right. So we've spoken about how that you have to work on your relationship with God first. Now how does our relationship with God affect? And I believe we all ascertain to the fact that we ought to work on our relationship with God. Working on your relationship with God, sir, what are the key factors to consider, sir?
Actually, before I want to touch on the relationship with God, I just want to add a few things to the importance of planning. Yes. Basically, when we talk of planning is a process of deciding in advance. And you decide in advance what is to be done, how is to be done, when is to be done, and who is to do it. Planning is also the process of developing an effective strategy that will help you be able to achieve your desired goals and targets. That's planning. And when you listen to what the man of God was saying, you realize that planning is supposed to be done not just considering one aspect of one's life. You consider your holistic life. Remember, a human being is a tripartite being. Tripartite meaning 3 in 1. You are a spirit, you have a soul, you live in a body. And so, and that's 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 23. It says, now the God of peace himself sanctify you completely, and may your whole spirit, soul, and body be preserved blameless unto the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ.
All right.
Meaning that all aspects of our lives literally need to be preserved blameless before God. So if all aspects of our lives need to be preserved blameless before God, it therefore means that we have to plan for all areas of our lives. And the man of God started mentioning them. So of course you plan for your spiritual life. You also plan for your mental and intellectual life. That means how to advance in knowledge and education. You plan for your psychological and emotional life. Mm-hmm. You plan for your social and relational life. Mm-hmm. How you are going to improve on your relationship with your spouse, your children, your parents, your co-workers, your loved ones. You plan on all that. You also plan on your finances, how you are going to, get more income, how you are going to use your money, how you are going to invest.
You have to plan for all this.
You plan for all that when it comes to your finances. When you get to the career and work, you plan for how you are going to go about your career and work, how you want to take it a little bit step further and all that. Even when it comes to your body, your health and physical body, you plan on that, how exactly you can be effective in that area. That means that you work on how you are going to eat, how you are going to exercise, how you are going to take good care of your body, because this body is a temple of God. So all these areas of one's life, planning needs to go into it. And so when we say that 2020, we are going to plan how our life must be, we are considering all these as in totality. That's literally what we are talking about. And as the man of God said, the first one is a spiritual life.
Okay.
That we want to concentrate on.
Okay. So we must concentrate on our spiritual life.
That's the first to start with. But we must make sure that all the various aspects of our lives are also properly planned and work towards.
Okay, all right. So many people, especially Christians, and I trust a lot of Christians, get to watch us, so I think we should talk to them. There are a lot of Christians that after the 31st night, they go about business as usual. They don't plan for their life, and he spoke about how that the plan is holistic. It has to do with your finance, even with the way you spend, even with the people you're going to relate to, and how you're going to take your career at top notch higher. Do you think it's as a result of the God factor or the lack of planning that people lose out on the zeal of what they are committed to?
It is the main factor. I would say it is the main factor.
The question makes sense, right?
It does. Yeah. This is the main factor. Okay. Because one thing that plan gives you is it gives you focus.
Okay.
You are able to focus and you are able to monitor.
Planning gives you focus.
Yes.
Okay.
And you are able to monitor your progress.
Okay.
So without planning, you will live your daily life just as usual, just as you are saying. Mm-hmm. You go about doing your things just as any other day, mm-hmm. and you go and come back, and you will see that at the end of the day, you are not able to achieve anything because there was nothing that you put before you.
Okay.
There was no plan, so there is nothing to come. Mm-hmm. There is nothing to be able to say that this is what I put before me, this is what I have achieved. So you see that anyone who does not plan is not able to achieve anything, because you tackle this
and
area,
you leave it.
And you leave it.
Okay.
And you tackle another area, you leave it. But when you are able to plan, you are able to monitor your progress, you are able to maintain one area and make progress. And this is one of the main factors why, especially Christians, we are not able to attain certain heights.
But do you think Christians plan at all? Do you think there's a planning?
Oh, most do.
Mm-hmm.
Most do, and these things, it comes through teaching.
Okay.
So some are taught, others are not taught.
Okay, because I asked the colleague friend, right. I was like, what is your plan? That was last year. I asked him, what was your plan for 2019? And he said, by my spirit, And I didn't understand that. He said he was going to do things by the Spirit of God.
Right.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So planning has now replaced the by my Spirit. Maybe the Spirit of God will take over everything.
It doesn't happen.
Okay.
Even just as the man of God said, even Jesus planned, even before creation, God planned that this is what I am about to do.
Okay.
So when God started working, God was able to put things in order according to his plans. So planning is one area that you can't neglect.
It's one area you can't neglect.
As a Christian.
Okay.
You can't.
You can't.
Because even your Christian life, you must be able to monitor your Christian life, and you must be able to check your Christian life daily and know whether you are making progress or not.
Okay.
So just as my colleague Reverend was saying, if you are not able to plan, then now the question is, where are you going?
Where are you going? Okay.
What do you want to get? When do you want to get it? How will you get it? So without answering these questions, you will live your life anyhow.
All right. You will live your life anyhow.
Right.
All right. Now the planning. What are the ingredients for planning? We get to talk about planning. What are the ingredients for planning, and how do you plan? Let me start with you.
Number one thing that you need to
understand. A bit louder for us.
The number one thing you need to understand is that you have to be intentional about your plans.
You have to be intentional.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not this is my year of, you said it's your year of
becoming more like Jesus.
Becoming
Christ likeness.
I saw one page.
Christ likeness.
Christ likeness.
Yeah.
You said it's your year of what?
Excellence.
Yeah, divine speed.
Divine speed. His purpose. You alone, yeah. Don't mind me. Let's go ahead. So you have to have a target, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to be intentional about it.
Intentional. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. And then number two thing that it has to be feasible.
Okay.
It has to be attainable. It has to be something that you can attain.
Rewind and press play. It has to be visible.
Yeah.
It has to be attainable. It has to be.
It has to. Let me come to this one, which is very important, because that's what a lot of people do. When we start planning and then they are not achievable, we get to a place and then we give up and we throw it away.
Exactly. So it has to be achievable.
It has to be, and then attainable also. So when you do these things, you give yourself a motivation.
Okay.
And another thing too is that your effort, you have to. Anytime you make something, you get a milestone, you hit a milestone, you should be able to reward yourself, or you should be able to be accountable, which is very important. So you should have an accountability partner.
Okay. Someone
whom you have to report to, a mentor, or someone who you speak to every time. Mentor can either be your peer or someone who is ahead of you, or even down, someone who is below you. But at every level, you know who you interact with.
Okay.
And so when you have a mentor that you interact with and you are accountable to, it helps you to stay focused. Because a lot of us, when we start, it comes with a vim. You can imagine.
When the year starts.
Yeah.
Have you watched people's status?
Oh yes, it comes with my year of this, my year of that, and by the 16th of January, when you see January is about 4 months.
There's January itself.
Yeah, there's January Pro.
Okay.
When you get to the middle of January, you realize that everything is hitting you here and there.
Okay.
You just give up.
Okay.
And so giving up shouldn't be an option.
Okay.
At all. And then you shouldn't give up. You should just be focused and then concentrate. Especially the goal should be attainable and achievable.
So are we downplaying on dreaming big?
No, we are not downplaying it. Look, you see, we call it two opposing truths held in tension. There's a place for dreaming big, but then there are steps with which you would get to where the big picture is.
Okay.
And so that is why we have the milestone.
Okay.
You have a big picture. You see, there's no dream which is so big. because you have a big God.
I love that. There's no dream which is so big,
because we have a big God, and He speaks those things which be not as though they were, and they come to pass. But then you will need to take those tiny steps to get to that big dream. And so those tiny steps are what we are talking about. You are breaking them into pieces. From line A to line B, this is what you should do.
Okay.
From line B to line C, this is what you are going to do. And with those tiny steps, it should be achievable and attainable. Then you can get to the bigger steps. But then also, we shouldn't downplay faith. We shouldn't downplay the supernatural too, where the Lord He Himself can pick you from A to D, whereas you have not even gotten to C and B. But then you should know that God will only bring the promotion when He knows that you are prepared for it. He doesn't just give promotion because He's throwing them away. He gives opportunity must meet preparation, and then there is an explosion.
Okay, opportunity must meet preparation.
Yeah.
Then there is an explosion. Okay, our time is almost up, but let's talk about the planning itself. Planning itself. You have a word from God for your year. Do you have to exchange your word from God with the planning that you want to do?
Please, can you take it?
Okay, I said, do you exchange the word from God that, for example, it's your year of excellence, and you also have plans for yourself? Do you get to exchange it for the word given to you by God to achieve?
I believe that usually there will be an intertwine of a number of things. For instance, if you belong to a church, which is a bigger church with several branches, there will be that word that may come for all who are a part of that church. For instance, ICGC. So for all of us who are a part of ICGC, the word that came for us is that this is a year to pursue excellence. Now, within that, each one of us, God will speak to us concerning certain specifics, and all those specifics must be intertwined into the bigger vision that has come to us through our general overseer. And then, quite apart from that, I want to add to what the man of God was saying when it comes to the things that go into planning.
Okay.
You know, Proverbs chapter 3, the verse 5 to 6, it says that trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your path. I believe that as Christians, we must approach planning right from the onset with the attitude of a person who is willing to allow God to guide and lead through the planning process. Because planning is a process, you must engage God throughout all the process involved with the planning. You don't just go on your own, you do your own plans, you put them on paper, and then later on, you go to God and tell God, God, this is what I have planned. Bless it for me. No. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 21, it says, many are the plans in a man's heart, but it's only the counsel of the Lord that shall stand. So if you don't engage God in your planning process, remember there may be some of the things that may not even see the light of the day.
Okay.
You see, because apart from that, the Bible says, who is it that says a thing and it comes to pass when God commands it not? So it's very important to be sure that throughout the planning process, God is actually involved with this. And that's when you can be so confident that this thing I'm going to pursue, I can go at it with everything within me because God is in it. So that's the first thing to consider. Let God lead throughout the entire planning process. The second thing is that you must have a very big picture or vision. And that must drive all the specifics.
Okay.
And that's what Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2 talks about. Before Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2, when you look at Proverbs chapter 28 verse 18a, it says that for where there is no vision, the people perish. So you must have a bigger vision in front of you for the year. And that bigger vision is the one that at least drives every other thing that will be, considered.
Okay.
Because if you don't have the bigger vision, it's as if you will not have anything that will motivate you.
Okay.
To really pursue the various things that you want to pursue. So there must be that bigger vision. But of course, when you have the bigger vision, you must make sure that it's clear enough. And for it to be clear enough also means that you must move to the next step, which is the third step. You must write it down. And that's what Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2 talks about. It says, write the vision down, make it plain and simple, so that anyone who sees it can run with it. So you make it plain on a tablet. You write your vision down. You write that which God has put on your heart. You write it down. Because when you don't write it down, you don't have any commitment towards pursuing it. And so that's what you do. But apart from writing it down, you also go to the next step of now going into some specifics. So here you now begin to generate lots of ideas concerning some of the things that you must do when it comes to the various aspects. Your spiritual life, you must generate ideas. When it comes to my spiritual life, what are some of the things I really have to work on? So you generate ideas. When it comes to my finances, what are some of the things I have to, you generate ideas. When it comes to my intellectual and mental life, so you begin to generate a lot of ideas. At the time when you are generating ideas, what you do is that you don't try to restrict yourself by looking at where would this one fall under, where would that one fall under. No, you just generated the ideas, you write them down either on a paper or on a notepad or on an iPad. You just write them down. Then when you are done, and of course it may not be just one day, as you are moving up and down, you make sure as things are coming up, dropping in your spirit, you are writing them as ideas are coming. Then later, the fourth thing is you look at the various ideas you have put down, and then you begin to classify them. You group them under their various headings, so that they can become, concise, specific, for you to be able to pursue them. Mm-hmm. And then after you have, classified them, grouped them, you move to the next step of making sure that all the things you have put down, you now have made the necessary inquiries that will feed into the information you have put down. Because there are some of the things that you have to do that you must seek information from other quarters. You may have to go and ask some authorities, institutions. If you have to go to school, when it comes to the aspect of your mental, intellectual, you have to go get the necessary information about how to get admission, how much money will be involved, when all those things will be. So you make inquiries. You don't just sit down and write things down and then you just hope that things will work out. You make the necessary inquiries. Wherever you need to go, you do all those things. So there are a number of things that are involved when it comes to planning for the year.
All right. There are lots of things involved when it comes to planning for the year. Before we wrap up, let's get to on this segment. Let's talk about planning now. Is it too late to plan?
No.
It's not.
No, never.
Because after today we have 360 something. Okay, so it's not too late.
It's never too late.
Okay.
It's better late than never.
Okay.
And so if you haven't put down anything, you can take the first week of the year or of the month to plan.
Okay.
And then you can break them into segments, and then you try to achieve them. So it's never too late to plan for the year.
All right. So it's never too late.
All right.
Your final word, sir. On planning. I want us to go to executing the plan. Okay. Today I want to bless you. We'll move on to executing the plan. Your final words on planning.
Planning must be smart.
Okay.
And that's the acronym. S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for attainable, R stands for realistic. And of course, realistic doesn't mean don't make room for faith, as the man of God was talking about. And then T stands for time bound.
Okay.
Every plan must be time bound. Otherwise, it may not be achieved at all.
All right.
All I would say is when you are able to take your time and plan, it gives you speed. So it will be better for you to relax and plan your life than trying to run, because running without a target ahead of you is just a waste of time.
All right.
Okay. My final words is that the easiest way to make God laugh is to plan.
Okay.
And so don't.
Yeah, the one will not make us plan.
So don't do anything without involving God in your plans.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll come back. We'll get to talk about how to ensure that your plans work, because it's not just about the planning. After planning, you have to work on it. I have been planning to go to the gym for a long time. a long time. And as I'm saying it, I know my uncle and my auntie and my cousins will be laughing at me. But this year I'll go to the gym. When you see my 6-pack, so Jojo will not see this stomach. You see a 6-pack stomach. After this break, I'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
Come, they told me, pa-ra-pa-bum-pum. A newborn came to see, pa-ra-pa-bum-pum. Our finest gifts we bring, pa-ra-pa-bum-pum. To lay before the king, pa-ra-pa-bum-pum, ra-pa-bum-pum, ra-pa-bum-pum. So to honor him, pa-ra-pa-bum-pum, me and my drum. Mary nodded, pa-ra-pa-bum-pum. The ox and lamb kept time, pa-ra-pa-bum-pum. I played my drum for him, pa-ra-pa-bum-pum. I played my best for him, pa-ra-pa-bum-pum. Ra-pa-bum-pum, ra-pa-bum-pum. Then he smiled at me, pa-ra-pa-bum-pum. Me and my drum.
I was dancing. I love the song. Anyway, welcome back, and I trust you are enjoying yourself. We move on to how to ensure that your plans move from paper to reality, right? Okay, so after the planning, Reverend Ofer spoke about smartness, planning smart, right? All right. So after planning smart, you have all your plans. You have your long-term goal. You have your short-term goals, and you decide that from January to March, this is what I'm going to do. From April to July, this is what I'm going to do. From July to let's say April to June, this is what I'm going to do. From July, you have your short-term goals, you have your long-term goals, that before December ends, this is what I'm going to do. You also ought to know that the plan doesn't do the work. You have to take practical and pragmatic steps to ensure that your plans come to pass, and we get to talk about how to ensure that it comes to pass on the next segment. And I still have Reverend Emmanuel Brown still with us, and also Reverend Ofer with us, and we have been joined by, let me allow him to introduce himself. I've not seen him for how many months? Few months.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So we have with us
my name is Prophet Samuel Intia Mwaba.
okay, all right. So we have Prophet Intia. The first, when I met you, you were not a prophet, but now you're a prophet. You were,
yeah.
But you had hidden the name. Don't mind me. Anyway, so let's get to talk about effective workout of the plan. Okay, now we have plans. A lot of people have plans. This year, this is what I'm going to do. This year, this is what I'm going to do. Now, how do you take that plan from paper to manifestation? Remember?
Yeah, from paper to manifestation. Now you have your plans on paper.
Okay.
So now what you do is that you monitor what you've written down. And just as you said, you have long-term goals and short-term goals. So you've given yourself time that from maybe in the month of January, at the end of January, this is what I want to do. So and every blessed day when you wake up, you must go through your plans. And now when you are stepping out with a target. That by the grace of God, by the time I come back this evening, this is what I want to get, this is the level I want to move, or this is the step I want to take considering my plans.
Okay.
So you do it daily
Okay.
Daily. So you divide it. You can give yourself time. Divide the agendas. Give it on a daily basis.
Okay.
And work it out on a daily basis.
Okay.
So by the time you come back in the evening or by the close of the day, you sit down and then you go through your plans again, and then you see that today this is where I have gotten to.
Okay.
So it means that tomorrow I am starting from where I got to today. This is where you see progress.
Okay. All right.
In your plans.
All right. Your plans and how to execute them, ensuring that after the plans, I'm going to execute, because 2020 is here. Right. All right. I was talking to someone on phone, and the person was like, "Oh, the next year," and I said 2021, and I said, "Hey, we are." Yes. So I should say your plan, moving, because we started the year already. Now you have the plans. How do you go about it?
First of all, you really have to ask God for the grace and wisdom to go about the plans, because as you rightly said, sometimes people put down plans year after year and they don't seem to get anywhere with it.
Okay.
So by strength shall no man prevail.
I love that.
It's very important to receive grace. When you look at Hebrews chapter 4 verse 16, it says, "Therefore let's come boldly before the throne of grace and obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need." It's always important to receive the grace and strength to be able to stay focused on what you have put down on paper. The second thing is that you must make sure that your plans, which are written down, are posted or placed in a place where it will be very easy for you to see it every now and then.
Does it have a role to play?
It's very important.
Okay.
Because as often as you are able to see the plans you have put down on paper, the easier it will be for you to be conscious of what you have put down, and the fact that you must start doing something about it.
Exactly.
So it must always be at a place where you can easily see it. Either you can see it every day, or at least in the course of the week, you can see it as often as you can. That's very important.
Okay.
The other thing is that you must have the plan always. Reverend spoke about it. You must always review the plan on daily basis, because, as you said, the plan must not just be a yearly plan. You must break it down, quarterly,
exactly,
monthly, weekly, and even daily. So every day, before you take off in the day, you go through the plan, the bit of it that must be done for that day. Before the day ends in the evening, you also make sure you review the plan that you should have gone through for the day, and check which ones you did something about and which ones you couldn't do anything about, and then you do the necessary reviews before you go to bed. So by the time you are waking up the next day, you exactly know what you are going to do. It's very important.
Okay, it's very important. Prof,
Yes.
I said when I met you were apostle. Don't mind me. Someone was trying to put a bishopric title on me. I know the person is watching, but don't mind me. Anyway, yeah. So yes, we were talking about how to execute the plans. Now you have the plans. I didn't ask you your year. It's your year of
Knowing yourself.
Oh, so then what? Also, come and take him. Knowing yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to know yourself.
Yes.
Okay, I love that. Anyway, so from paper to manifestation, let me ask you, why do many people don't get to fulfill this? What stops them from fulfilling their purpose? They have planned, they have written everything they want to, family goals, marriage goals, financial goals, and all that. Why is it that they don't get to achieve them?
All right. I thank the men of God for the wisdom they've brought out. But I would say most people don't achieve those things. Some people get opportunity to plan, but at the end of the year, the things they planned or wrote down have not been achieved.
Okay.
Why? I will bring all these things into one word: commitment.
Commitment.
Now, commitment is the mystery behind distinction. Now, anyone who plans and is not committed throughout the year, know that things will happen to you. But if you are committed to the things you have planned, the things you've written down, if you are committed, it doesn't matter what. If you stay committed to them, those things you have written down will be achievable.
When you talk about commitment, what do you mean by commitment?
I mean, going on what you have written.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what happened. Sometimes you plan things and things happen contrary to what you have planned.
Okay.
You still hit it and still make sure it is done.
Okay.
When you're committed to it, it doesn't matter what comes in, you achieve it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So commitment.
Commitment.
Man of God, do you agree with
Yes.
commitment?
Yes.
I was about to ask, what do you think are barriers for non-achievement of plans? Because a lot of people have plans, a lot of people have goals and all that, but commitment to it. I think that is what it's like. Anything to add up, sir, on commitment, sir?
I will still stand on it.
Okay.
Because anything you are committed to, you see results.
Okay.
So anything that you are not committed to, definitely, it doesn't matter the pen you use to write.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how visible it is. If you are not committed to it, because just as the man of God was saying, there will be storms.
Okay.
But you must make sure you are committed to your plans. Make sure nothing takes your eye off.
Okay.
So when you are hitting your target, though there are storms, but you are focused. The Bible says that by reason of Jesus, what he was looking at, he was focused on climbing Calvary.
Okay.
The crucifixion,
Okay.
what he is going to do there. And because of that focus, they were beating him, slapping him,
Spitting on him. The people he healed.
Yes. And he had this cross on him.
Okay.
But he was focused, committed to make sure that he goes and is able to attain the height he has planned. This is why he came here on earth. And he must fulfill it. There will be so many other things. It got to a day that, after a very hectic, I would say, crusade, the previous day, after Jesus rested, the Bible says that as early before daybreak, Jesus went somewhere, to pray. And whilst he was praying, his disciples came to him and said, Papa, come and see the crowd. Everybody is looking for you.
Everyone's seeking for you.
And Jesus said that let them be there. Let us go to another place, because this is the reason why I came. So there will be always things, yes, to distract you, but you must be committed. So if you stay focused, other than that, Jesus would have loved the atmosphere, because it seems everybody loved him. They are looking for you. Everybody is praising you. So he would have shifted from the mission he came into sorting the people out, making them feel good. But you can't make people feel good.
Okay.
If you really want to achieve your aim, you must stay focused.
Okay.
So commitment, I would say, is still the key.
Commitment is still the key.
Yes, and sometimes some of the barriers, laziness, sluggishness, procrastination. I'll do it tomorrow.
Procrastination.
I'll do it maybe next week.
Okay.
This week I'm busy. This month I'm busy. That is a barrier. Sometimes loss of focus along the way. It can also be a barrier. Sometimes loss of interest and zeal and enthusiasm along the way can also be a barrier. Other times, unfavorable circumstances or situations setting into the picture. Maybe people you started out with who you thought were going to be very key in fulfilling some of those plans. All of a sudden they abandon you, and so sometimes people let that cause them to give up on the whole plan. Sometimes even having a situation of experiencing some rejections and a few failures here
loneliness and all that
make people just give up on some of the plans they set out to achieve. Even other times disappointments from unexpected sources make people all of a sudden forget about the plan and all that. So there are a lot of barriers, all right, but one must always decide that this thing, before I set out to pursue it, I knew God was in it. That's why when we started, I said that be sure that God is involved in the entire planning process. So if you know God's hand is in it, then regardless of anything that comes at you, the storms, the wind, the rain, they may all come at you, but you make sure that your foundation stands strong, because this thing is of God, and if it's of God, it must stand. If it is of God, it must be achieved. So that certainty that this is of God must be there, so that whatever you would have to amass in every strength, energy, and whatever you must amass to make sure you fulfill it, you'll be able to amass it to fulfill it. So it's very, very key. One has some of this, and you must be willing to cut off time wasters.
Okay, time wasted. You need to cut off time wasters.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are some people, as a matter of fact, you see, you can't please. My senior brother was saying that he could have come, Jesus could have come out to meet their people because they hail at him. But at the end of the day, you can't please everyone all the time. Yeah. Sometimes because you have to achieve the things you have planned for, you have to step on few toes.
You have to step on few toes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, if you don't do that, you can't achieve it. Sometimes, as we are saying, some people may come in to distract you from what you are focused on.
Even if it's a God-given vision?
Oh, yes. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Something can just sweep you off, can just take you off what you want to do. And once you are determined and you are committed to it, it doesn't matter who comes in. At one time, Jesus' mother came and his brothers. He said, they are looking for you. Jesus said, now, what I'm doing here, I'm focused and I'm committed to this thing. Now, my brothers and my family are the people seated listening to me. So later, if you read the Bible, later, after finishing with what he was committed doing, he went back looking for them. Yes. So there are some people, when you are focused on doing certain things, you can just put them somewhere. When you are done, you go after them.
Okay. I know this gym that I said I'll go. I know people will distract me. So is it that when I look at the distraction, I decide not to go?
No, you shouldn't.
Okay, I shouldn't.
You shouldn't. Okay. You see, as we are saying, we are planning. At the end of the day, there are things you have to put in place. It's a step by step.
Okay.
A step by step.
Okay.
You can't just run with it. The Bible says that simplify the vision, that he that reads it may run with it.
Okay.
So it means that when you simplify it or you start, don't expect it. I always talk to people and I encourage them. You are starting a ministry and you are looking at Dr. Mensa Otabil and just a year ministry, you want to get to where he is.
Or
you know the number of
yes.
You know the number of years.
The number of years.
Yeah, the number of years. Do you know what he has gone through?
Exactly.
Sometimes people, you see a church celebrating their 10th anniversary. As a matter of fact, some of them is 20 years anniversary, but the 10 years of the struggle has been cut off.
Exactly. Because they don't want to remember the past.
Yes. You see, when I see things like that, I am encouraged because they stood and they were committed to what they wanted to do. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't cut those years off. Yes,
you add it.
I'll add it so that tomorrow when I'm talking, I will tell you, I'll give you my history. I'll tell you where I'm coming from. And I stayed focused, and that is why today I am here today.
Focus, following one course until success. You ought to focus.
Yes, commitment will make you focus.
Commitment will, but there are things that will come your way.
Yes,
that will try to block, like Reverend Ofei said, like some uncertainties that are never expected. When those moments come, how do you pick yourself up? Because the fire is on. When you check people's status, things people want to do, as if it's someone promising to buy me a jet.
We have to go to you see, those things may come. This is life for you.
This is life.
This is life for you. Those things may come. You see, one time David went to war, and then the enemy came behind him and bent down Ziklag. Now, when he came in, what he did was that the people he went to fight with almost killed him. They almost stoned him. You see, they wept, they cried. But after they cried, they encouraged themselves.
Okay.
You see, you are human. Things may happen contrary to what you have planned for. But at the end of the day, you have to. I give people room to cry. Yes, when things happen, I tell the people, leave them, let them cry your heart out. But after crying, you have to encourage yourself. Still be committed to what you are doing. It doesn't matter what came in, you have to stay committed to what you are doing. Things may happen to you, but at the end of the day, know that you are focused on something. Be committed to that thing, and at the end of the year, you will know that yes, I have achieved it. At
the end of the year, you will know that you have achieved it.
Yes.
He spoke about wasters, and I think that's a very important is it essential to cut people off, people that will waste time your type, because when you go on social media, everybody is cutting people off, and I don't know the scissors and the blade and the knife they're using to cut people off. But I think it's important. You spoke about wasters because people, the Bible says, when there is no vision, people perish, and I also know that when there are no people, visions perish. That means there's a line, a connecting factor between people and vision. People can affect visions. How do you strategically remove, replace, and also multiply people in your life to fulfill your vision? And is it important to cut off people in order to fulfill visions?
It is very important.
Okay, important to?
Yes, to cut people off.
To cut people off, okay.
Because one, you must know your vision. Where are you going to? And the people around you, you must also know the reason why they are around you.
Okay, reasons why they are around you, okay.
The people around you are supposed to help you attain that vision, help that vision speak. So if the one around you is not helping the vision come to pass, it is necessary for you to cut the person off, because the vision must speak. You have a target, and let's say you've planned that in this year 2020 you want to buy a land. So you've planned that you are saving money to buy a land. And here comes this guy or this lady. Today I need this amount. Tomorrow I need this amount. The next day I need this amount. And you are the best guy he or she has ever met.
Okay.
A good heart. So today he came for 200 Ghana, you gave him 200 Ghana. The next day he came for 300, you gave him 300 Ghana. Next week he came for 500, you gave him 500 Ghana. How much are you saving? When are you sure you will be able to buy your land? There is no way. Therefore, there are certain people you must cut them off, because the vision must speak. You are going somewhere.
Okay.
So the one connected to you must be someone helping the vision speak.
Okay.
So it is necessary
to
cut some people off.
So the people around you, your confidants, your okay, let me not go there. It's actually preaching me say the long guy. Yesterday I was telling Barbara. Okay, you don't know Barbara. I'll introduce Barbara to you.
All right.
Anyway, I was telling her
To add up to what you're saying, you see, it is not all the people around you that are meant to push your vision.
It is not all around
people,
you.
Yes, you see, with Abraham, when God asked him to leave his father's house, he took his wife, and then the Bible says that Lot went with him.
Okay.
Do you know what? When you study the Bible, you find out that from when Lot moved with Abraham, God never came to speak with Abraham until there was an issue, and then Abraham called Lot and said, "Now, do you know what? I have learned from my mistake. Because we are family, there shouldn't be any problem. Now, you and your descendants, you and your people, find a place. Choose where you want to live. And we also will choose the other side."
Right.
You see, that very day when Lot and his people left, God came down and said, "Abraham, come, I want to show you something." It is not everyone. Now, Abraham learned a lesson from this. When God asked him again to go and sacrifice his son, he took his servant with him with the ass. When they got to the mountain, he said, "Stay with the asses."
Okay.
And he moved up with his son. It is not everyone around you that is meant to go where you are going.
It is not everyone.
Yes, there are some people you need to cut them off.
Okay.
It doesn't matter who they are, you have to cut them off. If those people are not helping you focus and being committed to what you have planned for, cut them off. As my brother was saying,
you're preaching.
coming in
You're
for
preaching.
the money. Which one are you saving for the land?
All right. Which one are you saving for the land?
Let
me close it. Can we continue tomorrow? Can we continue next week? Or you want to say something? Finally.
Proverbs chapter 12, verse 26.
Okay.
It says that the righteous chooses his friends carefully, but the way of the fool, the way of the wicked leads them astray.
Okay, we'll continue next week. Okay. Okay. So write it up. Proverbs chapter 12,
verse 26.
Okay.
New King James Version.
All right. Choose your friends wisely. Choose your friend. Even as a Christian, choose your friends wisely. Well, my name is Felix Dazi. This is where I get to wrap up. I was here with Reverend A. Brown. Reverend, where can we find you, your church?
I'm the head pastor of God City International Charismatic Church.
All right, your number quickly.
At Ashalibotri.
All right.
0543-671-641.
Again.
0543-671-641.
Okay, and we had
Reverend Prince of Fair, pastor in charge of ICGs in Anakrom Assembly.
Okay.
Ashalibotri. 054-7544-611.
Okay, all right, and we had.
My name is Prophet Samuel Intiamwaba, the head pastor of Atonement Chapel International in Koko. But this year we are coming to Accra.
You are coming to Accra.
Yes. And my number is 0243
Okay.
608964.
All right, thank you so much. We'll continue next week on this planning thing, ensuring that your plan is fulfilled, right? Your every vision of yours is fulfilled. Thank you so much for watching us, and God bless you so much. I'll see you next week, and I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. God's grace and mercies continue to follow you, and we'll see you next week. And I want to say Happy New Year to my producer. My producer is not feeling well. Ernest Bosiako, Mr. Ernest Bosiako is under the weather, a bit speedy recovery, sir, and we'll see you next week. Till then, have a wonderful time. Happy New Year, and make sure you fulfill purpose. See you next week. Bye bye.
That one.